Hey, Coach. So obviously, this has been a very weird year, but can you just reflect a little bit on the success that you had in your first season as the head coach?
Yeah, I think the biggest success is the culture that's been established. I think the foundation's set, the buy-in from the guys. Like I kind of said last night, seeing these guys love football, seeing these guys love playing for each other, seeing the coaches and the players really form a bond in a crazy year, and then battling through COVID and really coming out on top the best that we could, probably as good as anybody in the country. It's probably the two biggest things I could think of before you even get into the football games, Emma, if that makes sense. When I got here, the whole thing to me was the culture, who we are, who we're going to become, and to lay a strong foundation for the future. And I think we've done that. I do. I really do. And then the next battle was to try to get through 11 games with keeping these players safe and healthy. And for the most part, we've done that. So those are two huge victories, I think. And then to win more games in the ACC than they have since 2009, I think that's another big victory that people need to talk about. In the first year to play an all ACC schedule with as good as the ACC is this year with the top teams, picked 15th, and then to finish in the middle of the pack, whether we're 6th or whatever we end up at. I certainly as a competitor would like to do better, but I think those are all successes, Emma, to build off of. And I think the future is bright. I think we've done it the right way. It's been hard, but like I said, the day I got hired, when things are hard and you get through them the right way and you don't take shortcuts and we didn't, and you don't make excuses and we didn't, and you come out on top, I think it's a success. And I'm proud of the guys for that.
We'll go next to Kevin.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Hey, Kevin, what's up, man?
Nothing. So obviously you guys just ended the season, but I'm curious what, in terms of scouting scheduling, looks like for you, going forward. When do you kind of turn the page and solely focus on, off-season scouting and all that stuff? Or, you guys still, in mid-season form sort of mentally?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I don't think we're in mid-season form. Truthfully, watching the tape and just being around the players today and yesterday, our guys are mentally, physically, and emotionally, they're drained. And I don't think people realize that. We've been here since June 28th, right? They haven't went home. Crazy circumstances, what we've asked them to do, even the coaching staff. I mean, I kind of feel that way too, truthfully, Kevin. But you could see it. I don't know how many teams went through 11 games like we did with a late bye like we did. But they're tired physically, mentally, emotionally, and they should be, because they've given everything they had, not just on the field, but they gave everything they had to stay safe from COVID. And that's why I believe we were successful. So I told them today, I'm going to go a week at a time, because I don't know when we're playing. I don't know when the next game is. I don't know if there's a game. So I'm going to give the vets, basically, I'm going to give them Monday through Friday, and we're going to do some strength and conditioning and recovery and just get them feeling better. I want their bodies to feel better. I want their minds to feel better. Emotionally, I want them to feel better, because right now I think everybody's kind of in the same spot. We're a little bit drained, and I want them to get that back. Then what I'll do this week is I'll get some of the guys who haven't played as much, and we'll do some fundamentals and get them more reps. We'll practice with them a little bit, but for the most part, I want this to be a catch your breath. You deserve it. And just let's get our heads back and then see what the next week brings us. And then I'll have a plan for next week. And I'll probably have to do it week by week, maybe day by day as we get closer. And we'll continue to do that until we either play or we're told we're not playing. And we'll go from there.
We'll go next to Rich.
Is that me? Hi, this is Rich. Hi. Just on that vein, though, there's 7 bowl games open to the ACC right now. With 6 wins, puts you in a position where you could get one of them, or even should get one of them. Are the kids interested in playing a 12th game?
Yeah, I think so, Rich. I mean, I would assume so. I talked today about catching our breath, refocusing, regrouping, and then let's, if we're able to do so, let's let's end on a high note. Let's get better, use those practices to get better, continue what we're building. They'll make up maybe for some of the spring ball practices we lost to get the guys developed and get better, maybe add some more scheme. And then let's go play more football. It's the only way you get better. So from what I know right now, Rich, we just put the game to bed. I just told the guys the schedule. And, I think our guys would be excited to play.
If Patrick Kraft is working behind the scenes or is he in any negotiations with any bowls? Have you heard?
I don't right now. I'm sure. That guy works night and day, so I'm sure he's working on it. But the crazy thing is we've played 11. There's still games to be played. People still have regular season games the 12th and the 19th. There's still some teams that have played like 4 games, so they got a lot of catching up to do, Rich. I don't know if there's time for them to get through 11. But no, I think it's going to take some time to find out and figure out, are more bowls going to cancel, or teams not going to be able to play in bowl games. But our team 100% deserves a bowl game. It will give us time to get healthy, get Phil back, get those safeties back. We were down 3 starting safeties in that game. So it'd be fun to go play one last time with this group with everybody healthy and let it rip one more time.
We'll go next to Andy.
Hey, Jeff. I just want to ask you about Mike Palmer. I know he was banged up and didn't play yesterday, but was the recipient of the Jamie Gillis Memorial Scholarship, and also just what's it meant to have him as a leader, and also some of the other veteran guys, your transition in your first year as head coach? Well,
the leadership has been everything. That's why I formed the Leadership Council, which Mike is a part of. They've been a pulse of the team. I want this team to feel this isn't like what I say, everything I want to know how they feel, and I want this thing to be run the right way. And I think leadership does that. I think real leadership comes from the players eventually, and we need to get to that point. We wouldn't have been able to do what we did without those leaders. And you mentioned Mike as an example. Mike has been dealing with the bad hamstring injury, and he hasn't been able to play, and he's very well deserving of the award. He's meant a ton. It's a great award. And what you guys don't realize during the game is, even though when Mike's not playing, Mike's really helped me out. He's done a lot of, he'll look at formations and plays. He'll draw them up on a card. That way I get them and I go over them with the defense. And he might be a coach in his future, but he's done a phenomenal job on the sideline. Great leader, helps out the young guys. And just one example of one of the leaders that we have in that group. It's a special group.
Go back to Rich.
Hey, just on a side note, I actually knew Jay McGillis. I used to exclusively cover Brockton High School back when he was playing there. And he was a phenomenal defensive player. Probably one of the best I ever saw. So just thought I'd throw that at you.
No, I appreciate that, Rich. I know it's a great tradition here, and we'll continue handing it out, to the deserving DB. And Mike is definitely deserving of that. And I'd love to hear more about him, Rich, one day.
Go ahead, Rich.
Just one last one. I don't even know if you'll get this, but in the past you got 15 days of practice if you were a bowl eligible team. Even if you don't get that, would you use that time for team building? Maybe what the veterans can do. Would you try to, some of the kids that might be coming up next year that you want to give some extra attention to? Yeah, definitely. I don't know how many practices we'll get in, and there's some team building we probably won't be able to do still with the COVID protocols. But for example, I'm going to give the players off this weekend, but at the same time, I want to have something for them, whether it's an activity here, or a meal together. I want to continue to build that. I don't want to get away from it. This group's gotten pretty tight. And I think the young guys being around such great older leaders we have will be very helpful. So definitely I want to continue to do that, Rich. It's a good point.
We'll go next to Kevin.
Coach, a few weeks ago, it might have been last week, you mentioned the reward to the team, getting to the finish line. I'm just curious if you decided what that had been yet.
No, I haven't. I will. I'll spend some time and think about it this week and talk to our staff and to Pat Kraft, and they definitely deserve something, 100%. And I will let you know. I will let you know as soon as we come up with that, what it is.
All right, Jeff, it looks like that's all our questions for today. Thank you very much, guys. We appreciate it.
So when do we get back together now, Rich? This isn't like goodbye for months. I'll miss you guys. What's going on here?
Yeah, we'll kind of do a lot of that speculating journalism stuff we do about the bowls and just kind of make mythical things like putting you in the military bowl against Houston. How does that sound?
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to comment on that, Rich. You could have caught me on that one.